Today we're exploring Prague's world-famous astronomical clock, a city full of exciting history, beautiful old streets, and fascinating sights. The astronomical clock, also called the horloge, isn't just any ordinary clock that tells the time. It's like a giant, old-fashioned science project that's been intriguing people for over 600 years. The clock was built in 1410, more than 600 years ago. Back then, people didn't have phones or watches, so clocks like this were super important for knowing the time. A master clockmaker named Mikuláš of Kadaň and an astronomer named Jan Schindel worked together to create it. They combined science, art, and engineering to make something truly unique for its time. It's the third oldest astronomical clock in the world, and the oldest one that still works. Imagine creating something that has worked perfectly for centuries. Pretty amazing, right? The astronomical clock is like a giant puzzle with lots of moving parts. Here's how it works. The main dial. This is the big circle you'll see in the middle. It shows the time, the positions of the sun and moon, and even what zodiac sign we're in. The calendar dial. Below the main clock face, there's a smaller circle. This part shows the date and the names of the saints celebrated on that day. The figures. Every hour, little figures come to life. There are statues of the 12 apostles, and other characters like Death, a skeleton, rings a bell to remind us that time is precious. The bell. The skeleton shakes an hourglass, the apostles appear, and the rooster at the top crows at the end. It's like a mini show that happens every hour. Back when the clock was built, people didn't understand time the way we do now. The astronomical clock helped them keep track of the day, the seasons, and even when it was time to plant crops. It also told people about things in the sky, like the phases of the moon and where the stars were. The astronomical clock is in the heart of Prague's Old Town Square. It's free to watch the live show, but it can get crowded, especially in the afternoon. Here are some tips. Morning hours. If you want to avoid big crowds, visit before 10 a.m. You'll have a better chance to get a good view. Evening show. The clock looks extra cool when it's lit up at night. It's not as busy then, so it's another great time to visit. Special dates. The clock is extra busy during Christmas markets or Easter, so plan if you visit during these holidays. If you're visiting Prague with kids, the clock is a great place to spark their curiosity. After watching the show, you can visit the Old Town Hall Tower to see the clock's gears and how it works from the inside. Take part in a scavenger hunt around Old Town Square to find other statues and cool details. Try drawing the clock. Challenge your kids to recreate the clock face. It's a fun way to remember your trip. The astronomical clock is more than just a clock. It's a masterpiece that combines science, art, and history. It's also a reminder of how creative and clever people were, even hundreds of years ago. So the next time you're in Prague, don't forget to look up and watch this amazing timepiece do its thing.